this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no one.
a second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki. Why do I always do that? This is Kotobuki Jake. Sometimes people go both ways, as the Scarecrow would say in The Wizard of Oz. But we're here to talk about all the fun things that they got. Except for Gundam. No Gundam. But here's a couple of things that you might like. I don't know.
Castlevania, Sunnyville Market, your crucifix, holy water. Transylvania, ain't not moonlight to the castle of Dracula. Watch me whip, and 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 watch me whip. Gothic warrior in search of skeleton keys. In the candlelight, by my vampire killer. Ah! Whip, and watch me 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 whip. And watch me whip, and watch me whip, and watch me whip, and watch me whip, and watch me whip. Pennsylvania, Sunnyville Market, your crucifix, holy water. Transylvania, in the moonlight, to the castle of Dracula. But I do know that I like it. What do you think about Dig Dug? I don't know, but I do know that I like it. Digging dirt, setting traps. I got a pump that will pump you up. I got monsters to my left, I got monsters to my right. And did I mention a rock? Cause what do you think about Dig Dug? I don't know, but I do know that I like it. Dig Dug, Dig Dug, Dig Dug. What do you think about Dig Dug? I don't know, but I do know that I like it. Dig Dug, Dig Dug, Dig Dug. It's 1982, Namco. What did you do? I got fried guys on my mind. The pukas, yeah, them too. High scores are what I'm after. Seeing ghost spells, disaster. What do you think about Dig Dug? I don't know, but I do know that I like it. Dig Dug, Dig Dug, Dig Dug. but I do know that I like Doug, Dig Dug, Dig Dug, Dig Dug. I'm proud to rock the white and blue. I'm proud to rock the white.
Did you like it? Did everybody love that?
Yes, there was much rejoicing.
Yay. All right, so we're going to move over to our other section here, which we've got our priority list just out of the quickness here. Of course, if it's a priority, we both have to agree that this is a must-buy. We will get it. It will be in our collection. This isn't just a thing that sits on our wish list for years on years. This is something we're going to get, and we're closely eyeing that bad boy.
And then it'll sit on our shelf for years and years.
Hey, once you get it, you know it's going to be yours to watch eventually.
Right.
Then there's a yes, please. Those are the things that you do wish list. They could sit on there for years. It might go out of print, and then you realize, shoot, it went out of print. But if you get around to it and the price is right, you're like, heck yeah, it's good. It's mine now. Curious if the price is right. Yeah, this looks like an interesting thing. Maybe I'll give it a watch. Meh. It's kind of a very low-grade curious. You might buy it for $1. And if someone were to give it to you for free, you might take it into your collection. At least until you see it. And then finally, hell no. No, not even for free. No. Trash. And we will we both have to agree on hell no's and priorities. That way,
right.
We know it's really awesome or really not so. I think we've had not even a handful of true hell no's that we both agree
not many.
With. It takes a lot. It does. More so for me. I'm a little bit more tolerant when it comes to these. But there are a couple. There are a few that get my goat. So let's go ahead and start. I will hand it to you.
Okay. I don't see any screens.
Oh, well, you know what I probably should do is I will not do that one. I will do that one, and I will... There you go. Boom.
There we go. All right. We have a Best Picture Essentials collection, which contains 10 former Best Picture winning movies, which is a pretty cool thing. Definitely a pretty cool thing. Let's see. Have you got the list up to where it's... there we go. Titanic, Forrest Gump, No Country for Old Men, Terms of Endearment, The Godfather, Gladiator, The English Patient, American Beauty, My Fair Lady, and the one of the bunch I have not seen, Wings, which I do need to still see. But it's also kind of an outlier because it's so much older than all the others.
First Best Picture winner ever.
Well, yeah. Was it?
Yeah.
I thought that was 1930. No, maybe I was wrong.
Oscars started in the 20s.
Right. I got it. I got mixed up. Yeah, you're right. So, not a bad assortment of movies there. Not bad at all. I know some of these movies have their fans and some have their detractors. I do consider The Godfather the second greatest film ever made. I used to with American Beauty, and I need to reevaluate that one. I used to with Forrest Gump. That one has also slipped in the rankings, but it's still an excellent film. And No Country for Old Men is flippin' awesome. So they're all good movies. But even The English Patient, which sure as hell should not have beat Fargo, and My Fair Lady sure as hell should not have beat Dr. Strangelove, they're still good movies. So this is a nice collection. It's a little pricey. I couldn't see myself going for this particular collection. This is kind of a conundrum. Based on the material involved, I'd have to say priority. Based on my interest in this package, I'd have to go curious. So I guess I'll go yes, please.
So, Wings would be excellent to have on Blu-ray, but everything else is
Right.
just kind of like, most of it's not even an upgrade
Yeah.
for me. Godfather,
I do
having
have
in my triple pack.
I do have nearly all of these on DVD, so it would be a format upgrade for me for most of them.
Now, special features would be a big question I would have.
Does it not show on the? Does it
doesn't.
not show on the page? Oh,
So, again, I have to know
probably
more.
it's probably a repackaging
Yeah.
of previous editions.
Now,
Yeah,
I mean, to me, if I did not have these films, let's
Yeah.
say I had 0 of these films,
I'd say,
or-
what's wrong with you?
then I would probably, at that point, because I'm willing to wait for a sale for it, so because it wouldn't be something I need to get necessarily right away, but I could see if I didn't have these, or if the vast majority that I had were just so bare bones that, it was like that Forrest Gump I used to have.
Right.
I would say, yeah, a yes please is a good way, because they're solid. I would be wanting to get these films in one format or another. Like if I saw this and it was on sale, and I didn't have half of these, I would probably snap it up.
It probably would be a nice space saver. But I already have that Godfather trilogy, and it's such a nice set. I need something special to break that up. And,
So to prevent from last time, I want to go ahead. We're going to be doing the whole, but I'm going to be
Okay.
moving quickly over the
Okay.
ones I have no interest in, but I added to fluff up. So we're going with this
Fluff
first
up.
one, A Woman Like Eve. I was surprised you didn't try and grab that one.
I passed it up last time. This one was pushed back a week, I think.
I mean, it was 1979 was born that year. Married Woman's Affair to Another Woman. That sort of thing, artsy stuff. It's a Region 0 one, so those always make me feel sketchy, but it is an official release, so,
Cult
it's
epics.
So, it looks interesting enough, looks very artsy. I'm going to, that's all I'm going to say about that. I think it's something I'm curious about, but I'm not going to be.
I could agree with that.
Okay.
Okay, next up, we have got the Avengers 4-movie collection. Speaking of your space savers, I believe, already have all of these on Blu-ray, so I have no pressing need to get this. But it, of course, includes the Avengers Age of Ultron, the Avengers Infinity War, that was a weirdly timed, and the Avengers Endgame. Excellent films. Even Ultron is a pretty solid film, but they are all excellent films. I really particularly thought the first one was a phenomenal film. Infinity War was a phenomenal film. I am kind of interested in a space-saving collection. I'm not sure this is it, but I would say if you do not have these films, they are a priority. If I did not have them, I would order it.
Yeah, this one's kind of on the fence. Like, it's like I want the whole like Infinity War saga in one collection. That's what I want.
Right.
I want like a somewhat tight done one with some good stuff.
Right.
I wouldn't mind them being in 4K. This is not necessarily the format I would go with, but at the same time, if I didn't have them, and it would be a quick and easy way to save a lot of space. So I can keep that as a priority, because they are priority films. They are really good. All right, moving on to another filler episode. The Arbors. Looks creepy. All right, well, it looks like a gravitas, and it is indeed.
Of course.
Set against a dreary small town, the Arbors follows Ethan Doones, a reclusive locksmith struggling to keep ties to his younger brother, Shane. Ethan's life takes an unsettling turn after finding a strange small creature and forming a mysterious connection. After a string of unexplained killings, the creature's true nature is soon revealed, and Ethan finds himself in the center of panic and paranoia. I don't know. That doesn't look like anything I would trust anyway.
Yeah.
But, with things there, it could be good, could be bad. Gravitas prices being $47 is not something I'm going to be that there. But I'll go with curious. It could be good, could be bad, might be decent.
This is one that I took one look and said next. It just doesn't really strike me as something I'd be interested in, but given that it's a Gravitas release, it probably has some collectability value. I can say I buy that for $1.
Yeah, if I saw some Gravitas stuff at like the Dollar Tree, I would grab them all.
Yeah.
It's sort of like magnet. You just want to grab them up because they're rare.
Right. Or Magnolia for that matter. Yeah, there's some that I always get it. Yeah. So Baby Done, from the producers of Hunt for the Wilder People and the
Breaker Upperers.
Breaker Upperers. Okay, I don't know the Breaker Upperers, but I know Hunt for the Wilder People, and that alone was enough for me to put this on my list. It's basically about the idea of an uncouple that finds themselves unexpectedly pregnant, and the girl apparently is not ready and decides to do everything she can before a baby comes. I have some issues with characters that are blatantly self-serving, and this looks like it fits into that vein. But the Wilder People connection makes me at least grant this to curious. And is this, that's a decent price. That's probably not a Gravitas release.
It is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's
a good price for them.
I don't understand their pricing structure.
I don't get it at all. I would say, given that I know nothing more about this, I can't go above a curious, but I am a high curious.
I'm a little curious, so we meet in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Yeah, surprising. I don't know what their pricing structure is, because then the Blu-ray will be $14, the DVD will be $50.
And the DVD's more than the Blu-ray.
I don't know. All right, so Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, 4K digital. They've already released an Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate Edition.
There is a 4K Ultimate already out there. It's, they're just re-releasing it right before the Snyder Cut, which, if you go with what everybody's, with all the hype is, it's going to be the greatest film of all time. Those Avengers films will have nothing on this. It's an epic of awesome proportions that nobody is going to dislike.
Right.
So, you never know with the hype. Batman v Superman is a good indicator, I'm sure, of what we're going to get. So, with that being said...
So this being the Ultimate Edition, does it include both the theatrical and the Snyder Cut?
The original Ultimate Edition did.
Okay. You would think this would.
It on there. Does it have the special features? No, it does not. But it says that, like this is from the previous release. So, yep, as I said, because I had the Ultimate one. And, I mean, I didn't hate the movie. I'm not going to say I didn't hate it like other people, but I didn't love it either. I feel more compelled to buy these in steelbook form. So I wouldn't get this version at all, ever. So I will... It's kind of a low yes, please, because technically I feel compelled to buy all the DCU movies, but it's more of a bad habit than it is a positive.
Now, did you say you have watched the extended cut of this one or no?
Yeah, it's more confusing, in my opinion.
So it doesn't really improve on it, in your opinion?
Well, in my opinion. I'm not gonna. I'm sure that.
In my opinion, in my opinion, the original Batman v Superman kind of sucked. I've never seen the extended cut. Without knowing positively that this includes both cuts, I have less interest in it than I would if I knew for a fact. I'm going to have to go curious because even though I probably will eventually get the movie, I can't guarantee that this version is going to be what I need to get.
See, I've only seen the extended cut, so there you go.
Oh,
yeah.
I saw it in theater, so that was.
That's why I couldn't. Yeah.
So,
Sad.
what else we got?
Nothing. No, it's all gone.
Okay, cool. So we have Bang Dream third season, a show that is having shockingly long legs. Apparently, we're up to what, 3 seasons and a live concert movie.
Yep. I don't have that at all. I'm surprised. And there's a sale going on.
Currently, I have season 1. That's all I have. And I believe this is the cheapest one on Right Stuff, if I remember correctly at the moment. I really do want to get the series. I plan to collect the series. I do plan to wait for it to be cheaper.
Yeah.
And buy it at like $12 a pop rather than $38 a pop. But with Sentai, that's entirely possible. So I will mark it a yes, please, because I will get it. But I'm not going to be rushing out or prioritizing a pre-order or anything like that.
No, it's one of those that I'll leave it at yes, please, because even though I don't own any of it, and I'm just really waiting for one of two things. One, for them to release a complete season set. The recent sale did not put them down enough for me to want to get them individually. So either one, I'm waiting for the series to end so they can repackage all of it in one set. Or I'll get it really cheap on a summer or Black Friday sale, piecemeal. So that's enough for a yes, please, because it is on my wish list. Just it's not on my, it's not a priority. I'm not going to be like, it went out of print. Well, oh well.
That's a little different. If it was going out of print, I'd jump on it. Okay.
So
the Bloodhound,
which is an Arrow release. And again, I'm always curious about some Arrow releases. This is a first-time feature director, Patrick Picard, brings a fresh take to one of the best-known stories from the master of mystery and macabre, Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, in his new slow-burner horror thriller, Bloodhound. Hauntingly atmospheric. Francis, a dispossessed young man, is summoned to the secluded home of his wealthy childhood friend, J.P. Lorette, who is suffering from a mysterious affliction. Upon his arrival, Francis realized that J.P. and his ethereal twin sister, Vivian, are the sole surviving members of the privileged Lorette family, whose legacy has been one of depression and self-destruction, and the only occupants of their family estate. As old friends attempt to reconnect, a number of inexplicable incidents begin to occur within the house, and Francis finds himself drawn into the world of malaise and despair, where of betrayal might provide his only way out. So again, Arrow does a really decent release. This one is one of the few so far on this list that I actually went, And I have backup, because Arrow does like some solid stuff, and it looks like fun. It looks like a slow burn. Looks like something of interest. I could definitely go with a curious on that one.
And as I said before, I thought this would be one you were going to jump on. I considered it. Interesting connection with movies galore. Francis is played by Liam Aiken, who played Peter Sullivan in Road to Perdition, one of his first roles. So that's a nice little tie in there. I admit, when Arrow, I always am slightly tempted because they seem so collectible. Until I get a region free player, they all come with an asterisk. Even if it says American, they all come with an asterisk. But that's a cool looking cover. The premise seems interesting. I can definitely go curious with that one.
All right, moving on.
All right. All right. Breaking news in Yuba County. I had never heard of this before then, but I looked at the beginning. Allison Janney, Mila Kunis, and Aquafina. Oh, I'm there already. Throw in Wanda Sykes, Juliette Lewis, Regina Hall. As I understand it, Janney basically plays someone whose husband goes missing, and people start sniffing around, wondering what happened. And I still continue to say that Kunis is one of the most underrated actors working today. Aquafina was robbed of an Oscar nod last year. Janney is underrepresented with our Oscar love. All three of them are great. This just cried out to me like, yes, I want to see this movie. I'd never heard of it before, and I don't know anything about it, so I can't really give it a yes, please, but it is a strong curious.
Price point's too high for me right now to be in there, but I will go with a curious myself.
Okay.
$35.99.
Oh, holy crap! Is this also Gravitas?
No, it's just Warner Brothers, and $37.99 for the DVD. What the heck?
From Warner Brothers. That is weird.
That's an old.
That is weird
too. My goodness.
Isn't that something?
All right, well, whatever.
Okay.
All right, so one I did take from that list of potentials for you. Only DVD, by the way, so it's a Kino release. It's a Corleone Mafia and Blood. It's a Corleone documentary, I believe, which looked really cool. The 1993 The Godfather of all Godfathers, Toto Rihanna is arrested in Palermo, Sicily, making the end of a 25-year manhunt and the war that killed thousands between Cosa Nostra and the Italian state. So it looks like a very cool thing, a lot of interviews. I like this stuff. It does have a high interest, and it has a very nice price point.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's a Kino release, and they make some wonderful sales. Right. I'm going to go...
Yeah, they got one going on now. I want my stimmy check so I can jump on it.
I think I'm going to go with yes, please, because, it's bound to, come Black Friday, go even further down, and it's one I've got my eye on. That's a tough call. I don't know that I can quite go yes. I'm right on the border, so I'll give it to you. We'll go yes, please. All right.
I'm right on the border. Okay, another series I've already started collecting. Castlevania has season 3 coming out. Again, the price point's a little high, but I will pick it up when it comes down low enough. This is a show that I saw a little bit of. I enjoyed it. I grew up on the video game, so it's like a little bit of nostalgia for me. I'm going to have to go yes, please, because I've already started collecting it.
I can leave it at that. I've seen the first season, liked it. I just need to get back into it again. I have the first two on Blu-ray, so, it'll come down later. It looks fun. All right, moving on. All right, Cosmo Ball. Very interesting little sci-fi thing here. After a brutal intergalactic war causes worldwide famine and devastation, life on Earth is desolate. Brightened only by Cosmo Ball, a dangerous high-flying sport that requires unimaginable speed, reflexes, and courage. While the world scans the sky religiously to catch a death-defying tournament, no one suspects that with each match, 4 gifted humans are fighting furiously to ensure the survival of humankind.
So what is this, Intergalactic Quidditch?
What's odd is that does not look as good as that picture.
Which one?
This picture right here of the release looks very nice. I mean, this is one where I think that does better than just the basic there. I mean, I've watched something like Solar Babies, stuff like that reminds me of it. I mean, it could be good, might be interesting. I'd be willing to give it a try if it was cheap enough.
I didn't realize this was a Russian film. Okay, well, that makes me a little more curious. Yeah, I can go curious. Apparently it is called Vretar Galactiki. Yes. So we have Crossed Swords, a.k.a. The Prince and the Pauper. Okay, look at this cast. Oliver Reed, Raquel Welch, George C. Scott, Rex Harrison, Ernest Borgnine, Charlton Heston, David Hemmings, an adaptation of The Prince and the Pauper. What's not to love? I mean, it may not be a great film, I don't know, but it definitely looks like one that needs to be checked out. It is a Kino Lorber release, so as you said recently, it is a strong contender for coming down in price, maybe sooner than later. I am very, very curious about this one. I'm not sure I can go yes, please, but it is a solid curious.
I can't really go yes, please on it, but I can go with curious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. A lot of Vinegar Syndrome releases, which means we'll see them again in the future when they release widely. But Death Promise. Oddly enough, I did not have any of these originally on my list, and then they got put in as filler.
That is odd.
So let's see here. Residents of a dilapidated New York tenement building are being harassed and threatened by Iguana Realty, a dummy corporation which owns the land, in an effort to force them out of their homes. But when a karate master, Chanley's father, is murdered by a group of thugs hired by the landlords, he decides to take matters into his own hands. Okay, so it sounds like it doesn't sound like the typical gory blood fest that you usually see with this. It seems more like one of your martial arts type of revenge films, which revenge seems to be a big theme in martial arts movies. It's a Vinegar Syndrome. I like cheesy martial arts flack. I could go with a curious.
I could actually go with that, yeah.
It's like probably one
I'd
of
like
the
to
rare
have some
instances.
vinegar. I'd like to have some Vinegar Syndrome. I just don't want most of the stuff they release.
hey, you'd go for that Beastmaster one for a lower price.
Yeah, I did bid on The Days of the Bagnalled Summer. From what I understand, this is sort of a mother-son dramedy where, they're very, very, very different. She's like a unassuming librarian and he's like a rock wannabe, based on a graphic novel. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. So that would have been a contender for this month's theme, I bet. It sounds pretty fun. It's a tender, funny coming-of-age story about single parenting and heavy metal.
I like that. I like that they have songs by Belle and Sebastian. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool too. So I'm going to say I'm solidly curious about this.
I can definitely go for that. I love Belle and Sebastian. I used to be really into them when I was in high school. So let's see. Late high school, but high school. All right, so here's one that was originally on my list. Yeah. The Event Horizon.
And one that we did do on Movies Galore.
So this one is a release that Shot has done. I've been worshiping. I've been studying this one because I have been curious about it. I have a Blu-ray copy, and I was curious about how much of the old film stock they managed to restore for this. I've heard rumor that some of it has been lost for good, but that they've managed to restore some of it. So it might be worth getting or upgrading to. I'm not a fan of the cover. It's one, I think it's on a list. If it doesn't go out of print, and I don't think it's going to go out of print anytime soon, but with Shout Factory, you never know.
You never know.
I mean, the special edition will, but this, I may get it later on. Down there, it's definitely earmarked. If I didn't have it, I would consider, because Event Horizon really is a must-own for fans of sci-fi and horror. So I would have it in a yes, please category.
I did not like it enough to say it's a must-own, but I will admit it was an intriguing film. I am glad that we watched it for the group. I could give this a curious. I am willing to get it, and I'd like to have a shout release of it, but it's going to have to come down notably in price.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, Doc, starring Stacy Keach, Faye Dunaway, and Harris Yulin. That's a pretty nice little cast. This is one of many films focusing on the group known for various members, Wyatt Earp, the Earp brothers, and the OK Corral and all that, and notably the title character, Doc Holliday. I'm not sure. I get the impression from the title, obviously, that this film focuses more on Holliday than on the others. I had not seen this. I'm not familiar with it, but given the cast and the story, I was like, that is a solid curious. I do want to see that. And that is also a Kino release, isn't it? I believe it is.
Yes.
Yep. So definitely on the list.
Very low curious, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to.
Okay.
All right. So something that might be because Friday the 13th Part 2 is having its 40th anniversary, so they're releasing a steelbook edition of the movie.
Don't remind me.
Which is it is the first appearance of Jason, so it's kind of cool to have that. The Shout Factory release of all of it is still available. It's not out in print yet. So to me, this is unnecessary. But if you like collecting at piecemeal and you love steelbooks, this is your opportunity to get one really cheap. It's $14.99. It's not terrible. And still, it is kind of cool having different editions of these things. I think it's an excellent film. It's the very first real appearance of Jason as the killer, unless you count the kid appearance at the end of the first movie. Spoilers. And if you really love Friday the 13th, you can hear us discuss it on this channel. Just look it up. We call it. We definitely do that. This one,
I am actually in the process of trying to muddle my way through this particular discussion. It's taking a while because I don't have time.
This one is one that I would put. Actually, no. This is one that if I did not have it, I would want it, and so it would be a priority for me because it is a priority film. That one and the first one, definitely.
There is no way I would rush out to get any film in this series, but I will concede that it is an important piece of cinema history. So as much as it pains me to say it, I will concede that this one could get a yes, please.
All right.
Right on the border between that and curious. But I feel generous. So, Fruits Basket, Season 2, Part 2. Oh, so there was a limited for this as well? I didn't even see that.
They've been doing limited for all of them.
Wait, is it for all of them?
So far, every part has
That's a bit excessive.
And they're excessively priced right now because they're out of print except for this one.
Yeah. Now, Fruits Basket is an excellent series. This is the reimagined version that is still ongoing, or it didn't end with Season 2, did it?
I don't know whether it did or not. I can't recall. Okay. I do have my issues with it, but I'll say so after.
Right. But this is one I really do want to see. I need to see eventually. The first show stopped way too early in the story, but it's still a fun classic series in its own right. I really do want to see this. I'd love to get these limited edition sets, but I can't really justify, especially if there's one for all 4 parts so far. That's kind of stupid. But I do want to get this. And if I can find the right pricing, I mean, heck, if I can get all 4 limited edition sets for $20 each, I think I would do that.
Best of luck.
So,
They're going for like $300. The first 2 seasons are going for like $200 to $300 now.
Oh, screw that.
They're OOP.
Oh, of course they are, because Funimation, because Aniplex, that thing, that all that stuff. But yeah, I would say if you don't have this, it is a priority to get this story, regardless of the version. It's just a classic shoujo series. I would definitely give it a solid yes, please.
Under normal circumstances, I would say it's a priority myself. But so far, Funimation's refusal to put out full season sets, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because they're usually there. We're almost at the end of season 2, and season 1 still has not had a full season release yet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting on. And if it goes out of print, I've gotten to the point where I'll say, you know what? I guess it wasn't meant to be. And it's a sad thing. So I guess that's more the definition of a yes, please for me than a priority. Because if it's a priority, I'd be collecting them in pieces. It's not worth collecting in pieces at the exorbitant prices. If it come down, if they reach $20 a set, I will get it in this format. But I won't be like you, and it has to be the premium editions at $20 a set. I can go with the regular editions at $20 a set.
I would be willing to consider the regular edition at $20 per. I would love to get the limited at $20 per.
All right, back to Vinegar Syndrome with a twofer here. A Fury Sexual and Prostitution Clandestine. So we
for kids.
We got some stuff here. Definitely a lot of nudity here, so I got to be careful.
I haven't seen much.
Nude mustache there.
Yeah, the porn stash is the most risky part of it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple that are definitely nude photos on the side. So I am being very careful.
That ass, how much?
I've heard enough about these to know they're not as much sexy as like murder mystery sexy, which is,
I don't know, that porn stash is sexy.
So to me, I really didn't have much interest in this. Matter of fact, I can say that this is a meh for me. This one just kind of like goes, I don't really see it, but it's just,
I'd be willing to almost say curious just based on Vinegar Syndrome and not super gory bloody, but I can't justify going hardcore for something like this. I would happily buy it for $1. I might even go 10. So if that's enough to bump it up to curious, but I wouldn't go out of my way for it.
All right.
Okay. Next up, we have a movie that I actually saw for the first time in college as part of a class, which was kind of cool. It was called Headline Biology, so we're watching a movie about something that actually is making headlines right now, which is genetic alteration. And so this is called Gattaca. It's Ethan Hawke and Jude Law. I believe Uma Thurman as well. And didn't it have Ben Kingsley? Am I remembering that correctly?
I haven't seen it, so I can't tell you.
But it's a really good movie. It's a sci-fi thriller about the dangers of genetic tampering. And Best Buy is releasing it in this pretty cool looking steelbook. I have this on DVD, but I am sorely considering upgrading to this steelbook, but not for $28. If I see it for $15, I will grab it. But I consider this a really, really good movie, and it kind of an essential. I normally would say it's on the border, but that sexy package pushes it up to yes, please.
I've never seen it. I don't like the cover. It looks boring to me. So I'll go with curious. I'm curious.
Okay. Okay.
See. And so speaking of, and there is a steelbook version of this, but they are re-releasing the newer American Godzilla in 4K. And we covered the sequel to it, King of the Monsters, on Inside Movies Galore. I'm surprised Dave did not force us to do the first one of these. I think
I watched it anyway.
Yeah, I watched it anyway. I'm wondering if the 4K would make it any less dark. That was my issue with it. The lighting was terrible.
I wonder, and you've got the right TV to test it out, so yeah.
I'm not sure I want to pay $30 for it though.
No.
Maybe one day if it comes down, I might.
Yeah.
If I didn't have it, I would have it on my wish list. So I guess that's a yes, please, because they're fun movies.
I think that I ended up jumping on this and King of the Monsters for the talk, but once I watched either of them, I think the other one becomes essential.
Yeah.
I could go yes, please. It's not the best Godzilla film out there, but it's still pretty darn good.
Chubby Godzilla.
Chubbyzilla.
Yes.
Chubzilla, yes. Okay, what do we got? Okay, The Hills I Call Home. A documentary about Appalachia, from what I understand. That's all I know about it, really. It looks like it's probably a Gravitas release. Yep. And what are they charging for it?
Let's see here. Probably too much. Yeah, too much.
Yeah, that's a little much. If I could get this for $5 or $6, I would jump on it. I don't think I would pay much more than that.
A documentary is not worth $40.
I could go curious.
Yeah, I can go curious. I don't mind some stuff about Appalachia. I grew up in kind of the tail end of the Appalachians, so it's kind of a cool thing. And now, Hillbilly Elegy, which we'll talk about later tonight, that
we will
is one that will be a priority on my list. So it is if it ever comes to physical, but we'll hope. All right, so
we can hope.
This is a kind of more of a musical one. Green Jelly Sucks Live. I am not familiar. There's some trauma. There. And my guess is sort of like a punk heavy metal type thing. I'm sure that several of our friends would probably be able to do it. Almost a Gwar type thing. Self-made documentary, which is entirely fan-made documentary, follows a fearless band leader and founder, Bill Mann, speaker, and his gang of misfits as they tour North America. Yeah, right. You know,
special appearance by Lloyd Kaufman.
And this one's got special.
Wait! Go! I want to see this. World's only Grammy-nominated Guinness Book of Records holding punk rock puppet band to also be sued by Kraft Foods, Kellogg, and Metallica. Okay, that just sold me right there.
So it's one of those that I may be that has my curiosity up. And it's probably going to go out of print beforehand because only 1,000 copies have been made. But, I would not say no to it. If I had more money and I didn't have like almost all of the stimulus and stuff earmarked already, I would probably be. This would probably be one of those things on a sale I would get. So
only 705 left.
So
I bet you Mo would be all over that.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. I would watch this band as a 20-something.
I'm willing to wager that I could go strongly curious on that. It probably will go out of print before I get to it, but
maybe it's just the slipcover because all it says is like the slipcover. So maybe the actual film will stay in print. We'll see.
I don't know. Okay, identifying features. This one is a film with Mercedes Hernandez. Go down a little bit. Or actually, let me just... I was going to try and find some more identifying features about the film, but I'll look it up here. We've got a mother travels across Mexico in search of her son, whom authorities say died while trying to cross the borders into the United States. So a very topically appropriate film, if you will. Directed by Fernanda Valdez and co-written by Valdez. You've got
not much
this. There. Yeah, it's a Mexican and Spanish co-production. It looks very interesting. It looks like it's probably pretty depressing. It looks like something that could be pretty incredible if they don't lean too hard into the polemical side of things, but it could be potentially a very polemical movie. I don't know enough to know one way or the other, but I am solidly curious about this. I do want to see it.
I can go with that. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Hero Dog, The Journey Home. This looks interesting. Not really. Natasha Histridge and Steve Byers. Let's see here. About a dog and going home. And and that's probably all you need to know. I think it's one of those family things called the Wild type stuff.
Yeah.
There's kids in it. That's good enough.
Well, hopefully better CG than Call of the Wild.
So
okay, well
meh for me.
IMDb, there's an user review that says the dog was the best actor. It's a meh. I wouldn't turn it away if it was given to me, but yeah.
All right.
Next up, the Kaiser of California, or more properly, Der Kaiser von Californian. Written and directed by and starring Louis Trenker. It actually is an American Western about the founder of San Francisco, but from Germany on the eve of World War II. So this was one of those German films that Kino is rolling out that apparently were not associated with the Reich, that were, in other words, probably good movies. But it's a German attempt to tell an American story, and that's kind of a curious thing, So I definitely am curious. And the Kino release, it'll probably eventually go on sale. And I like the way Kino does their releases. I like the packaging and all that kind of stuff. So it's a strong curious, I think.
Yeah, I am a sucker for early German cinema and Russian pre-communism and Soviet era cinema. I've got some, I don't know why, but I got an odd fascination with it, so I can go with two. So,
all right.
Moving on, back to Vinegar Syndrome with Last Gasp. Let's see here. Leslie Chase will do anything it takes to push his way through mega real estate development, even if it includes arranging a massacre of a Mexican native tribe to clear the patch. What is it with these evil landlords? But no bad deed goes unpunished as, after murdering the tribe's chief in cold blood, Leslie's body and mind are taken over by the chief's vengeful spirit. Forced into committing a series of heinous murders, Leslie's life is thrown into a greater peril when a private detective who has been hired to investigate the disappearance of one of his victims begins to suspect that the elusive real estate tycoon is harboring a deadly secret. It's got a kind of cool pray you never hear it. As a Last Gasp. It looks like it might be.
Oh, lovely.
Might be a little bit bloody there.
Yeah, just a bit.
So, but again, similar to the last one, except it's more of a horror bent than a martial arts bent. I could give that a curious for me.
I fear it may be a little bloody for me. I'd probably have to go more of a meh, but I wouldn't turn it down if it was given to me.
Yeah, man.
And it amuses me that now we have a bloody, bloody, bloody film and a porny film surrounding the family film. So, next up we have Kandagawa Jet Girls. Yet another in the long line of cute Japanese girls do completely random thing. In this case, jet skiing, apparently. I had never heard of this series before, but I saw it. I saw that it's by Sentai, and I immediately realized I will probably get this one day when it's $8. So it goes in the curious column.
I can leave it there. I was surprised. I thought you had more. You had it as a priority. So I was like, oh.
Nope.
All right. So one and the same. All right. A story about a young woman named Lola, after receiving a formal invitation to a facility called Next Life, goes in to investigate this mysterious offering. Upon arrival, she meets an ambitious scientist named Professor McCrae, who has been anticipating her arrival for years. He then begins to demonstrate his experiment of tracking human energy through space and time. Afterwards, through a documented video, she's introduced to who she was in her past life, a teen named Robbie. We then follow Robbie's story and inevitable demise as he navigates friendship, love, and daily struggle to survive a bully named Kenny. Tragedy of Robbie's murder and lack of justice fuels Lola's rage, sending her down a malevolent path to hunt Kenny down, who's very much alive and extremely dangerous. So, this is another Gravitas.
Oh my God, she's killing Kenny!
And this time the DVD is the cheaper version at $14.99.
Oh, wow. Wow.
This looks like something I could get into, possibly. I just, I would need more. But yeah. I
actually was curious. I ended up leaving it off my list, I think, but I looked at that and I was like, I could probably go for that, but I wouldn't pay a lot for it, you know? I do want to see it. And now we have Madame, which honestly falls in pretty close company to the last one. It's a documentary about apparently this dude who's I believe it's a gay boy and his quote flamboyant 90-year-old grandmother. And it's supposed to be sort of a rambling conversation about gender identity and sexuality and all that kind of stuff. The description reminded me of the Oscar-nominated A Concerto as a Conversation in terms of the format, but I could be wrong about that. But the subject matter, of course, is different. I saw that as like, it's not one I would rush out to see, but I would certainly be at least curious. And if I hear through the grapevine that it's a really, really good film, I need to see it, then I will make a point to see it. And I could count that as a curious, because I would get it if the price was right.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay.
All right.
Your favorite!
The only anime I was left the dregs this time.
You know, I just realized I should have made you cover this one and American Beauty, but oh well.
So, One Piece Season 11 Part 1. This time they've actually gone from... I've noticed they've been going now from just straight DVDs, which is how they started this Voyage series.
Oh, it is Blu-ray.
To Blu-ray/DVD combos now. I am definitely, which makes them more expensive, and I'm like, now it's even less likely that I want to get it in this version. Because these are the small releases, and this is like episode 629 to 641, and there's no way in heck I am going to get them in that smaller format. They should have kept up with the 100 episode releases. But eventually, I will be getting One Piece at that level. I won't be getting it in that format, but it's still one of those I'm going to have to get eventually, so it has to be a yes, please for me.
Yeah, if we're looking at it as the show.
Yeah.
That is a solid yes, please. I am collecting the series. It isn't essential to the collection. Whatever your personal viewpoint on the show is, it is an essential piece of anime history. But I am not collecting it in that format. I'm collecting in the 25 episode chunks. And so, yeah. And I'm also being very cheap about them. I will not pay more than 15 per, because even that adds up. Oh, they're eating squid ink pasta.
I like the little beard thing that they've got going.
I do like that. And is that Frankie with the pigtails and the?
All right, well,
that's pretty. I like that picture. I will admit. They should have had Brooke with a big bushy white beard, though. Okay, so we have the newly minted Oscar-nominated film, News of the World, which is nominated for production design, cinematography, sound, and there was one more. Do you remember offhand what it was?
Not without throwing off to the list I've got.
Okay. Music original score for James Newton Howard. People thought it was going to be up for more, but still, it's an adaptation of the famed novel by whose writer I'm somehow forgetting. I don't know how or why. Paulette Giles. There we go. Tom Hanks plays a gentleman wandering through Texas after the Civil War, and he finds a girl who was taken in by the Kiowa people, but now has to be delivered to her aunt and uncle. But she is a Kiowa, despite being a white girl. She is a Kiowa through and through, and doesn't want to go. And Helena Zengel got rave reviews for her performance. Hanks got solid reviews, but of course no Oscar love. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, I really do want to see this. I have heard great things about the book, and the movie does intrigue me, and I will probably order this, so I'm going to call it a priority.
Yeah. Actually, I have already ordered this, which is why I say that what's left of the funds I have is kind of gone. I did an Oscar order,
Right.
So yeah, I'll have to leave it a priority. It's been up for too many awards for me to
Right.
look at. So yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be worth having in the collection anyway. Tom Hanks always does a good job.
Right.
Greyhound, however, is less easy to find.
Great. That really flew under the radar. I'd forgotten that even came out.
Yeah, well, it's
He
also
actually co-wrote the screenplay.
So,
Yeah.
if you want to hear more about Queer Japan, watch our other channel. As I said, watch our other video.
Was that last week or the week before?
One of those. And but as I said before, I like the cover. It looks interesting. Could be good. I would definitely be one to buy it. So curious.
I'm pretty sure I went with Curious too.
All right, moving on.
Okay. Are we ready for some football?
I had the choice between giving you this or a Western, and I'm like, I'll take the freaking Western.
That's interesting. I'll bet you were thrilled by either chance. So we have the NFL Super Bowl 55 champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers combo.
Ooh.
You know, I actually had a conversation with someone the other day about why would anyone want to watch a game that's already happened, you know? And we had a little discussion. There are people out there, and if you're one of those people, this is probably a pretty cool pickup. It's probably a really good pickup if you're a fan, like a fan. But me, I wouldn't throw it away if someone gave it to me, but
So I would, but
Oh man,
but
you were hoping we'd get a hell no, weren't you?
no, I know you like football enough to keep that as a curiosity, or not a curiosity, but at least a meh.
It's not so much as a liking football. It's just more of a. I feel like it's worth to have some of that stuff in the collection just for posterity's sake, you know.
No, screw that stuff. No. It goes in the fire if it comes near the collection.
Nice.
All right. So, Raw. All right. What are you hungry for?
Yeah.
Let's see here. It looks like an odd or interesting thing. At 16, Justine is a brilliant, promising student with a strict vegetarian, but when she starts at veterinary school, she quickly encounters a decadent, merciless, and dangerous, seductive world. A veterinary school? Despite despite to fit in during the
and this one time at veterinary school,
desperate to fit in at whatever cost, she strays from her family's principle and she eats raw meat for the first time. Justine soon will face the terrible and unexpected consequences of her actions as her true self begins to emerge. This sounds like a propaganda piece for like vegans and stuff. I don't know. It sounds like it could be funny, but I don't know. Meh.
I have mixed feelings about that. I think I'm going to have to go meh myself. But you know what I did think when I saw that, and I might be speaking out of turn, but I was thinking Dane would love this movie.
Maybe.
I don't know. Okay. Reunion. Movie with Julia Ormond. Every family has a legacy.
Cool cover.
Okay. Yeah, it is kind of a cool cover. And Ormond is not a bad actress by any means. A pregnant woman returns to her recently deceased grandparents' old family home to spend time with her estranged mother. What begins as a tenuous reunion slowly turns terrifying. It looks like it could be an intriguing film. It looks like it could be a not so good film. Actually, okay, I said that other one, the user review said the dog was the best character. This one says the house is the best character in the film.
It looks like it.
But yeah, and I know you like this too, like ones where the house really is a character.
Yeah.
And so I'm certainly at least a little bit intrigued. I'd be willing to go curious.
I'd go a little curious. Cover would draw me in if it was low enough.
Right. Yeah, I'll buy that in a Dollar Tree in a you know what I mean.
So let's take a look at Rush Week, another Vinegar Syndrome. I guess it's it goes along with that Raw, I guess maybe. Sexy murdery time in here. One of the last films to emerge in 1980, slasher heyday. So I don't know. It's classic whodunit mixed with slice and dice sensibilities. I don't know. This actually looks like it could be a very interesting film. I would definitely hold this as a high curious for me. I like a good 80s slasher. They're fun. And it looks like it would be a fun old time.
Well, not knowing how much of a bloody old time it might be, I can't give it but so much. Vinegar Syndrome does make it possible a collector's item, so I'd be willing to go meh because I wouldn't want to turn it away, but I would need to know more.
At least watch it first, right?
Okay.
Or have me watch it.
Right. So next up we have Shootout, a Western starring Gregory Peck. And really that's all you need to know. Gregory Peck is pretty cool. I do enjoy a good Western. I don't know if this is one, but I looked it up and it didn't seem to have a bad idea to it. And I believe this is also a Kino release, if I'm remembering correctly. Yep. So we got from Henry Hathaway, the acclaimed director of Shepherd of the Hills, Rawhide, The Sons of Katie Elder, etc., and True Grit, comes this Western odyssey about an aging gunfighter who's released from jail and looking for revenge.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so, it sounds pretty fun. I think I could do that. I'd go curious.
I can go meh. All right. You know how I am with Westerns.
I know.
I am about with Westerns that I am uncertain with, like you are with slasher movies that you are uncertain with. Except I'm not as quick to go hell no, so I will. I usually go to meh.
Right.
Speaking of oddities, Squirrel Girls and Chains.
For kids.
So a remote country house, a malevolent form of sleaze and terror is being bred. A crazy mother encourages her two sons, raving lunatic Frank and his not all there brother Johnny, to kidnap young women and chain them up in the basement. I think they're all both not there fully.
As you do,
The girls are treated like animals and subjugated to games that grow increasingly sinister and depraved. When the brothers tire their playthings, the girls must be replaced. 70s sleaze. Yeah. This looks like it'd be at Moe's Alley.
Probably.
But, no, it's a meh. I mean, I really can't get myself to go more than
that. It does look all kinds of wrong. I'm not going to give it a strong meh. I'm vaguely curious, but meh. So, what do we got? They say it can't be done. From what I understand, they say it can't be done at a logical pricing scheme, and they were right. So another Gravitas release, I'm sure.
Well, at least the DVD.
They follow 4 companies on the cutting edge of breakthrough solutions to some of humanity's most pressing problems. Josh Tetrick and his team at Just use cell culture technology to sustainably create real animal protein without killing a single animal. Dr. Anthony Atala's organic 3D printing technology revolutionizes healthcare from a system of treatment to a system of cures, forever eliminating the organ wait list. Dr. Klaus, I'm still reading.
Sorry.
Dr. Klaus Lackner's plastic trees remove atmospheric carbon at 1,000 times the rate of an organic tree. Catalina Sea Ranch, the first open ocean farm, produces sustainable organic food while deacidifying the sea. Each innovator in the film has the potential to solve some of our greatest challenges, but all face a common roadblock, an outdated regulatory system impeding their pathways to success. So being, as I am, a budding entrepreneur trying to buck the system to save the planet, this sounds like something that I can get behind. I don't know if it's a good documentary, but it sure as hell is one I want to see. I'm almost tempted to say yes, please, but
I mean, if you wanted to go for DVD, it's $16.99 for the DVD.
Yeah, I know, and it would be interesting to get a Gravitas one just to say I have one. The cover doesn't do much for me, but
For kids.
I'll go. Yes, please.
I'm gonna go curious. I need to see where they're going with it. So
right.
Because it could be one of those, more like along the lines of genetic manipulation Monsanto type regulations are too hard. So the one
Right.
Western you did not put on your list, and I double-checked your list to know, and I was surprised you
I
missed this one.
thought about it.
But a Rock Hudson and Dean Martin one called Showdown that looks about as interesting as the other one that you had with Gregory Peck. And I'll admit, Dean Martin and Rock Hudson is a more interesting pairing to me.
I admit, for a Western, that's an interesting cast.
Yes. But like any Western, I have to give it a meh. Well,
I'll give it a curious. I'll give it a curious, but that won't be enough to save it.
All those slashers and Westerns being down here.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on.
Not all of them. So we have The Undoing, which is a limited series, I believe, from...
Here, I'll look it up a little
Who's
bit.
it from? HBO. HBO, okay.
Yeah.
And this is from the... you got Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. And, that's not a bad cast. HBO miniseries have a tendency to be pretty solid. I know very little about this, but it looks solid. It looks fun, and I can definitely go curious.
The good thing about it being a limited series is that there's no major investment past the first one.
Right.
The Night Manager was one that I would probably
I still need to see.
Curious because it was okay.
Yeah.
Odd that I've seen.
Big Little Lies was great, though.
And Bird Box was interesting. So
So I've heard.
I'll go with curious.
Okay.
I don't think you didn't put it priority, right? No.
No, curious.
Okay, good. All right. I didn't want to.
Okay.
So this is
Next
one.
up.
I was like, he's gonna grab all of them, including this one. I was like, no, but I've seen it, so I'm one up on that.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
Hey, I would have watched it last night, but apparently the one that I had access to is no longer there.
So this is one Soul, which is going to win Best Animated Feature. It's and this is a pretty cool edition that Target has released here. It's a Target exclusive, but it is being released on regular Blu-ray and 4K everywhere except for Amazon, which is only doing it on the Prime service. Because they are assholes. And and it is a wonderful piece. Great music. I hope it does win the best music, because it would be cool to have that.
Wait, Amazon's going to stream it on Prime?
Well, no, Prime, you buy it on the Prime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the long-term rental.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like...
So
weird.
What I'm going to do is probably what I do for most of these, and I'm going to wait until it is officially in the Disney Movie Club area. You have to really wait until it comes out officially, but once it's out and it's there, you can usually get the buy one get one 60% off, and I'll probably find something else to throw on there and get it as like a grouping deal. But it is one I consider one of the best films of the year. I actually think that it should have gone up with the Best Picture, but I knew it wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
So I would have put it as a priority.
Tune into our discussion on that.
Yes.
Which should be up by the time this posts, I think.
Hopefully.
So I, for one, didn't realize this was coming out so soon until you gave me the list. And then I immediately checked Disney Movie Club and said, how in the bleeding hell
that should have been that should have been director's feature.
How do I have two director selections and this is not one of them? Now, one of them was the Peanuts movie, which I think comes out this week or something like that.
Yeah.
But but it's like, why is this not being offered yet? This is one that it is priority. I was very upset that I did not get to see it. I don't have Disney Plus, and I have no intention to get Disney Plus. So I have had very little availability to see this since its debut. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that Disney's putting it on physical media so quickly. But still, I don't know, but I may actually be able to get it from the library if I don't order it because there's not a lot of requests for it yet. But it looks good. Notably, this is up for 3 Oscars. It's actually nominated alongside News of the World in original score and best sound. I've been saying for years that animation needs to be nominated for sound, and I don't know why it never is. And well, one of them got in this year. And it's notable that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, that wonderful scoring team, shares with John Batiste the score nomination. So I love that a Pixar film was scored by the dude from Nine Inch Nails and it got an Oscar nod. But anywho, this is a definite priority for me. I mean, I might even pay full price. Speaking of definite priorities, I will not pay full price for this, but I sure am getting this in the July sale. The week's Criterion release. We have The World of Wong Kar-wai. And Wong Kar-wai is a master auteur of speaking of Oscar, it is one of the great baffling crimes in Oscar history that this man has never been nominated for an Oscar. And this collection, unfortunately, is incomplete. It does not include his Oscar-nominated. He's not been nominated, but some of his films have. This does not include the Oscar-nominated film The Grand Master, as well as some of his other acclaimed films. What it does include is 1988's debut feature from Wong Kar-wai, As Tears Go By, 1990's The Days of Being Wild, 1994's Chungking Express, which I have seen and do have, and there is, I don't have the Criterion edition, but there is already a Criterion edition of Chungking Express. Fallen Angels from 1995, Happy Together from 1997, a film that I pre-ordered and do own, pre-ordered when Criterion released it initially, In the Mood for Love, and a film that I own on DVD, but I think this is its Criterion debut, 2046. Most of those films are not in the Criterion collection, and most of them are pretty gall-darn rare or unreleased in this country. So you can also look at the set. It's not a bad-looking set. I mean, it's kind of...
I don't like them in the sleeves.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that, but it's otherwise a pretty nice-looking set. Wong Kar-wai is a master of visual cinema. His movies are always gorgeous to look at. So the 2 that I have on Blu-ray, on DVD, I will really look forward to seeing them upgraded to Blu-ray. Also recently saw a list that put In the Mood for Love up as one of the 50 greatest romances of all times, and I can agree that it is good. This is an absolute priority. I will be getting it this July, and I am very excited about it.
I'm willing to put it up to a yes, please, because I can't guarantee I'll get it anytime soon. But it's on my list.
All right.
All right, moving on. Soulmates Season One, by the people who did Black Mirror and Stranger Things, which is a pretty good pedigree right there.
That is.
Soulmates is set 15 years into the future when science has made the discovery and changes all lives for everyone on the planet. It tests it and unequivocally tells you who your soulmate is. All right. That's an interesting concept. I don't know. It might be good, might not be good. You usually follow the TV space. Most
I do.
Well, more than I do.
I do.
Like anything else, TV that could be a long haul for me. I'm not going to, if I don't have like a full on want for it. I'm just going to have it as a meh because it's a significant investment. Anytime you start a TV series,
May or may not be for this one. I think they're up to 2 seasons so far. Who knows how far it'll go.
never know.
I know very little about this, but I'm willing to give it a curious. But
All right. So that's it. We actually did pretty good time-wise this time, and we got some pretty good stack-ups, a lot of curious, but and a little bit more meh than yes please, but we have 3 priorities, so not bad.
we do.
So with that being said, of course, if you like this, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and of course share. But do us the biggest favor of all, and we'll see each other next time.